Kung-Fu Karl's Illustrated Adventures. This week's adventure, Death Ninja 327, the ancient Thai warrior of the mystic post office who insisted on paying in loose change. Now, a lot of people ask me, "Hey Karl, were those Death Ninja movies based on real events? Were they? Were they, Karl? You can tell me. I'm not gonna tell anybody." And then I'm all like, "Get out of my face. What's your problem? I'll tell you, I'll answer your question. You don't have to be a dick about it." Well, the answer is yes. A lot of the movies were based on real events, such as Death Ninja 662, Karl Dials the Wrong Number, and Death Ninja 1080, Did I Leave the Ceiling Fan On? Now, not every story is exciting and pulse-pounding as me dialing a wrong number, so sometimes I have to embellish a bit. Such was the case with Death Ninja 327, the ancient Thai warrior of the mystic post office who insisted on paying in loose change. Now, just by reading the name and looking at the movie poster, this story looks like a non-stop thrill ride with twists and turns at every corner, an epic battle with me and the ancient Thai warrior, stamps, etc. It's crazy, right? Well, not so much. The real story was I was just driving to the free clinic and I saw this Thai food delivery guy I know. He was just walking into the post office. That was it. I drove to the free clinic and I got my crab medicine. Not that exciting. So we decided to spice it up a bit. After me and my writing crew worked on it all night, we came up with this story. I play a grizzled old crafty international House of Pancakes waiter, and I'm at the post office on my lunch break, and I'm stuck behind the ancient Thai warrior. Pretty good start, right? I thought so. Plus it had pancakes. Anyway, he bought a book of stamps, which I believe was in the pattern of Southwestern decor. Not a big fan of that, but he was buying that book of stamps in loose change. Naturally, Karl has no patience for anything dealing with loose change, so I knee him in the spine. The change goes flying everywhere, and we begin our epic battle. Punch, kick, groin. I jab, elbow to the face, groin. Water break, vomit, groin. Stamps, postage, groin. In the movie, the fight actually, groin. Oh man, hold on, give me a second. Oh, that one got me good. I can feel it in my stomach. Ugh, all right, Karl, shake it off, okay. Now, in the movie, this fight goes on for about an hour and a half straight, no cuts, but there is a good half hour in there where we take a break, catch our breath. The Thai warrior took a nap. I went out and got a sandwich. It was pastrami. It was pretty good. That's not the point, though. All right. Eventually, I beat the Thai warrior, and the mayor of the post office comes in and gives me $1 million. So I quit my job at the International House of Pancakes, and I opened up Kung-Fu Karl's Ceiling Fan Emporium. It was fantastic. It was open for a total of 2 days before it burned to the ground because I accidentally left all the ceiling fans on. My bad. But it did lead to the creation of Death Ninja 1080. Did I leave the ceiling fan on? A little inside scoop. But anyway, the movie goes on and gets the classic Hollywood ending where I frame the ancient Thai warrior for the ceiling fan fire and he dies in prison. The end! KKKKFFFF Kung-Fu Karl's Illustrated Adventures. This week's adventure, The Legend of SLIMETHOR. Now, Karl's a man of many passions, and by many, I mean 3. Food, drugs, and, of course, space travel. Now, I bet you're wondering, hey, Karl, where's Kung Fu and where's coffee on that list of passions? I thought those were passions of yours. Well, I'm wondering, why the hell do you care? What is it any business of yours what I do with my list of passions? You've got some nerve, mister. You've got some nerve. Anywho, one day I was combining 2 out of the 3 passions, food and drugs, into some delicious treats. We've got the traditional pot brownie, the weed burrito, and the Percocet passion fruit milkshake. In the middle of my weed burrito, I decided to go for the hat trick and incorporate space travel into the mix. I also decided to paint my face like a kitty cat. Luckily, Gorb said he had a spaceship out back that I could use, but I'd have to give him the rest of my weed burrito. So I thought about it for a second, then I knocked him unconscious with a chair. Gorb's spaceship was actually pretty nice, but it didn't have a radio, which was a downer because, space is boring. When I finally landed on the moon, I was surrounded by these little green moon men. They seemed pretty friendly at first, but just to show them who's boss, I ate 6 of them. After making them go get me some space food, they told me about this evil space dragon that rules the moon with an iron fist and sells coke to the space moon kids. So I ate 2 more moon men and I told them to tell me more. They said his name was SLIMETHOR and he lived in a cave on the other side of the moon. The moon men wanted me to slay SLIMETHOR so they could live in peace. I said of course I would. I couldn't stand to see any harm come to these precious little moon men. So I grabbed a couple snacks for the road and I headed off. As I got close to SLIMETHOR's lair, I could hear his siren song. It was enchanting.
SLIMETHOR, 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 SLIMETHOR. He's bleeding green like Listerine. SLIMETHOR, SLIMETHOR. He'll leech your dog, then smoke a pipe. He's SLIMETHOR, SLIMETHor. Lives on the moon and will sell you coke. Loves lifetime movies but will slice your throat. SLIMETHOR, 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 SLIMETHOR.
As I entered the dark cave, I had to climb over piles of moon men bones. It was horrifying. Granted, most of those bones were from the moon men I had eaten, but that's not the point. I snuck up behind SLIMETHOR in his living room, and just as I was about to snap his space neck, I noticed his table was covered in weed burritos. We shared the same passions. We quickly became BSFF, best space friends forever, and we decided to enslave those little green moon men so they could make us weed burritos all day long. For the next 6 months, I hung out with SLIMETHOR every day. The little green moon men would come by and make us weed burritos. We'd eat the weed burritos, then we'd eat the little green moon men for dessert. We could have lived like this for ages, but we eventually ate all the little green moon men, wiping out the entire species. So after that, things got a little dry. Weed burritos didn't taste as good. So eventually, I wanted to leave the moon. Cause you know how that saying goes. Once you eat all the moon men, get off the moon. Cause SLIMETHOR's gonna try to stab you in the face. Me and SLIMETHOR still talk every now and again, share recipes, catch up on old times. Sometimes he even tries to sell me coke over the phone. I'm like, SLIMETHOR, you so crazy. I think I want to have your baby. And he's like, what? And I'm like, that's from an old Salt and Pepper song. He's like, I don't know who that is. I was like, oh, they're 3 ugly girls who thought they were hot. They're rappers. He goes, oh, okay, I guess. I still don't really know what you're talking about. And I was like, I know. Look, I gotta go, SLIMETHOR. He's like, yeah, I gotta go too. I'll talk to you later. I think I'm gonna make another trip to the moon sometime. And you know what? I'll bring a salt and pepper tape. But I'm also gonna bring a knife, cause I got me some payback stabbing to do. Stupid space dragon. The end. KFK. Kung-Fu Karl's Illustrated Adventures. This week's adventure, Karl's fantastic firecracking 4th of July in BOOZEFEST. Now, every 4th of July, Karl does not hesitate to get the party started. First, I replace my alarm clock with Roman candles, then I brush my teeth with gunpowder, and then I glue on some extra thumbs, cause I can guarantee that I will be exploding a couple thumbs off my body today. Then me and DK have our hot dog eating contest / breakfast. I still hold the record with 70 dozen. This picture's not actually from the hot dog eating contest. It's a Halloween costume from a couple years ago. I went as Slimer from the Ghostbusters. This year I decided to play a little joke on DK and replace his hot dogs with fireworks. He got about 42 firework hot dogs down with no complaints of his stomach exploding or his dookie being on fire and sparklers coming out of it. Not really sure what happened there. Okay, anyway, at this point it's about 9:30 a.m. and I'm dangerously sober, so I concoct my famous Uncle Sam Sloppy Drunk Drinky Juice. It contains rum, fruit juice, gin, vodka, 1 cheeseburger, no bun, 10 American flag bumper stickers, and freedom, which is actually a brand of rubbing alcohol. 10 Uncle Sammys later, and it's time for Kushlash. Now, for those who don't know, Kushlash is the most popular 4th of July game in the entire universe. It involves throwing a football into a hammock for points. Luckily, I'm a bit of a hammock aficionado, so I picked out just the right model for the job. It's the Lazy Afternoon model number 681B with self-standing frame and extra flex hammock sag technology. It's the same hammock used by NASA. Anyways, I was undefeated in Kushlash the entire day. I beat Tad Birmingham, Frank Talladega, and Chip Johnstone 1, 2, 3. DK didn't play because he said his stomach was quote-unquote shooting hot rocks into his intestine. Sounds like the Roman candle bratwurst to me. As soon as the sun went down, I set up my massive fireworks display. It was still gonna be awesome despite DK eating a third of the explosives. I wanted to make sure everybody was comfy for the show, so I set up a bunch of bales of dry hay for them to sit on. I I also wanted to keep the fireworks safe, so I surrounded them with a moat of gasoline, you know, to keep the kids out. I also cracked open a gas main for no particular reason. So the show's ready to start. I light the first match, and I saw a flash of white hot light. Woke up a week later with my mustache melted to my face. Good news, I kept both my thumbs. The end. KK. Kung-Fu Karl's Illustrated Adventures. This week's adventure, Karl's having a baby. Now, I just got through watching a marathon of Sex in the City, and it got me thinking. First off, I am definitely a Miranda. Or, is it Carrie? Wait, which one's the pathetic old skank? I don't know, whatever. Whichever one's the oldest and skankiest, that one's me. But more importantly, it made me realize that Karl's getting older too, and it's time for me to carry on the KFK namesake. Now, finding the right girl, going on dates, getting married, family, blah, 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 that stuff ain't for Karl. You can't cage this bird. So naturally, I thought about stealing a baby, but that usually ends up in prison and butt sex. The best I could hope for would be a cool prison name like Iron Fists or Kicksack Karl. So that left no choice but adoption. It's a long and expensive process with extensive background checks. But I was committed, so I rolled up my sleeves, got all the paperwork, and ended up stealing a baby. Naturally, the first thing I wanted to do was call up Steve Guttenberg to see if he wanted to reenact 3 Men and a Baby with me and DK. He said he'd love to, and he'd be willing to work for his normal pay of half a turkey sandwich. I countered with half a chewed up turkey sandwich. He thought about it for an hour, then passed. His loss. Anyway, me and baby got along great. I gave him a little mustache, or her a little mustache. I haven't exactly had the courage to find out yet. Anyway, I gave it a fake mustache, then I made it go get me some candy out of the vending machine. I didn't really appreciate all the pooping and the crying, but DK got used to that pretty quick. DK also informed me that it was a boy, which was nice. Now, since it was a boy, I named him Alligator. If it was a girl, I would have named her Alligator too. I just really like the name. The next thing I did was find all the best baby gear money could buy. There's this nice stroller, this nice crib, a nice little baby motorcycle, some baby bottles, and Apple's new iBaby. I do not know what it does. To make sure Alligator grew up tough and strong, I got him a baseball bat and gloves, some football pads, and horse testosterone. And I got him this nice pair of novelty diapers that reads, "My other diaper is your face." I tell you, I couldn't wait for Alligator to grow up. I was gonna teach him everything I knew. How to kick balls, how to sneak into the movies, and how to make me 2 BLTs every day. But one day, when me and DK were having a catch with the little tack, the cops showed up and took Alligator away from us and brought him back to his natural parents. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even get to say goodbye. Mostly because I got the hell out of there and hopped the next boat to Mexico. But before I left, I made sure to give the cops my name, Steve Guttenberg. The end. KFK. Kung-Fu Karl's Illustrated Adventures. This week's adventure, Kung-Fu Karl's Crazy Coffee House Confrontation. Now, there is nothing more exciting than the fast-paced life of owning a coffee shop. Early mornings, late mid-afternoons, keeping track of all those flavors, fighting that imaginary space line when you're high on floor cleaner, cups and lids, lids and cups, cups and cups. It's a crazy life, or as the Dutch would say, mi vida loca, but I love my coffee shop and I wouldn't have it any other way. Everything was perfect until one day my world was about to collapse around me. A new coffee shop opened up right across the street and threatened to put my coffee shop out of business, destroying one of my true loves. My other true love is that movie The Cutting Edge, you know, where that hockey guy has to be a figure skater and him and the figure skater girl butt heads for a while, but then in the end, the figure skater girl plays hockey for Ottawa for like 6 years. I think that's how the movie ends. I never actually made it all the way through. The movie kinda sucks. Anyway, this new coffee shop, Uncle Coffee's House of Java Joe, was actually run by an old nemesis of mine named Olajuwon. Now, I know what you're thinking. No, it's not Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon from the Houston Rockets. This Olajuwon ain't putting no fancy baseline moves on the Admiral, I'll tell you that. No, this coffee shop Olajuwon I've known for a long time. Way past 1984. I believe we first met December 1983 when we were both going for the lead role in this new sitcom called Jeff the Black Guy. I didn't get the part because they said I wasn't the right look and I wasn't black enough. They also mentioned something about me not being sober and I wasn't fully dressed from the waist down. Whatever, they ended up giving the part to Olajuwon. He said he was sorry I didn't get the part. Then he gave me $20 for a cab ride home, and then he split his sandwich in half and gave me the bigger half. He was actually really nice, but I pushed him down a flight of steps and we've been enemies ever since. Well, here we are, years later, and he's finally ready to get his revenge. Well, I'm waiting for you, Olajuwon. Bring it! Olajuwon started the war by leaving a basket of fresh muffins at our door, plus an invitation to dinner. What a jerk! Flaunting his goods in our face. So I decided to come back with a fresh steaming batch of my own muffins. Double chocolate fudge with a corn nugget center. Chew on that, Olajuwon. Then he tried stealing the thunder of me and DK's bi-weekly parking lot dance-off by having something the Dutch call a grand opening. Well, me and DK weren't about to stand for this, so I slashed his tires while DK filled his trunk with 800 dead snakes. Why 800 dead snakes, you say? You ever tried filling a trunk up with 800 live snakes? I didn't think so. This sort of thing went on for a while. You know, we TP'd his house, changed his menus, smashed his windows open, burned his place down twice, poisoned his customers, all standard stuff. Well, one day I was just minding my own business, stealing Olajuwon's wallet, when it came to my attention that this wasn't Olajuwon at all. Turns out it's just some dude named Steve Chambers, and we were tormenting him for no reason. Although it would explain some of the stuff he was saying, like, "My name is not Olajuwon. My name is Mark Chambers. Please get off me. Why are you calling me Olajuwon?" You know, all stupid stuff like that. I can't do his voice right, but you get the idea. After that, I remembered that Olajuwon died back in 1983 after I pushed him down the steps. Not because of me, though. The ambulance that picked him up exploded on the way to the hospital, so my conscience is clean. As for Steve Chambers and Uncle Coffee's house at Java Joe, we buried the hatchet and everything's fine. He closed up and he's bankrupt. The end. KFK.
Hey, this is Mike from Lowbrow, and thanks for watching our video. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll keep making funny videos for you. I put funny in quotes, because it's not funny. That was also in quotes.